We are back for another episode of Coffee with Carriers with our friends from UnitedHealthcare. I'm Austin Scott with AmWinds Connect, market leader here in the Southeast. This is also my first time hosting Coffee with Carriers. Super excited about this opportunity today. I'm here with my friends Nelson Raines and Blake Leisinger. And guys, welcome and glad you're here. We're excited about our new relationship we forged in the fall. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and maybe a little bit about your family.
Thank you for having us here. I'm Nelson Raines, the local market sales leader for UnitedHealthcare in the Carolinas. I cover both North and South Carolina for 2 life groups up to 5,000 life groups. Been with the organization 17 years, and I've had the opportunity to wear a lot of different hats. I've been an individual contributor in the small group and the large group space, as well as a state leader and a multi-state leader. I relocated here to the Carolinas 2 years ago. I have an 8-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. Love being here in the Carolinas and excited to have this discussion with you today.
As you mentioned, I'm Blake Leisinger. I handle all our small business, whether that's new business or sales, or new business or renewals. I lead those teams. I've been in the insurance industry. Somebody told me once that once you get to 20 years, you're not allowed to say the number, you just say 20 plus. So I've been in the insurance industry for 20 plus years. I've actually been with UnitedHealthcare for the last 17. 15 of that has been in the Carolinas, and it has all been, the entire 20 plus years has been in the small group or individual. I actually live in Minnesota. I try to convince my family to move to the Carolinas all the time.
Pretty nice place.
Yeah, it is. I love it here. It was perfect yesterday. I have an 11-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son, and literally my entire life, other than work, is driving them from one sporting event to another.
Yeah, I know how that feels. Nelson, we got together last year and talked about our expansion into the Carolina, AmWinds Connect expansion in the Carolinas, and your interest in also growing in the Carolinas as well. We memorialized that relationship in the fall. What really excited you about working with AmWinds Connect and us helping you guys grow in this market?
Yeah, so AmWinds and UnitedHealthcare have had a long relationship in other markets throughout the country. The feedback we received from those markets was positive, and as we evaluate the general agent relationships we have on an annual basis, we're always looking for opportunities that provide distribution channels that we previously didn't have. AmWinds has a broad network of P&C agents, and that presented a unique opportunity and sort of a white space for us, where we felt forging this relationship, as we've done with other AmWinds locations, would be very beneficial to us.
And if I can chime in too, Austin,
Yeah,
we heard great things about AmWinds from other markets and how organized they were and how national in scope they were. And we've just been really impressed with the back office of AmWinds Connect up to this point, right? Whether it's the training department, whether it's the marketing department and the onboarding process. We're used to that as a larger company. That is something we're used to, but a lot of people that we work with or we partner with do not have that. And so we've been really excited about that.
Yeah, we are too. Your team has been great through the whole onboarding process. I feel like we're starting in 2025. We're really going to hit the ground running with some new sales folks and our sales support folks, and we feel prepared, and we feel like your team's going to have our back. Can you talk about UnitedHealthcare's kind of high-level value proposition in the Carolinas and maybe a little history leading up to where you guys are today?
The biggest value prop that people think of when they consider UnitedHealthcare is our national network. When you couple that with a full suite of products on the medical as well as the specialty side, it creates a tremendous force in the market. We've got a lot of new players on our team internally, and they're very energetic and excited about what the Carolinas brings. The Carolinas year over year is consistently ranked as one of the top places to live, work, and play, do business. That, again, provides a huge opportunity for all of us as we look to sell more business and open up more markets for us throughout the Carolinas.
Kind of flip into products and opportunity. Level funded is obviously it's very popular. Brokers are starting to adopt it. What do you think some of the myths of level funded are, and what are some of the challenges of getting brokers to adopt new ideas on helping employers with their group health insurance?
We're super excited about level funded, right? I mean, it is kind of taken over the country, if you will, not just with us, just in the industry in general, and people are really excited about it. Now, with anything, people are scared of change. I'm scared of change, right? When I first heard about it, as I mentioned, I've been in the business for 20 plus years, and I'm used to fully insured, right? It's, the ACR. Those are things that I was comfortable with. So really, it's just, how do I get comfortable with something new? The exciting part about it is we designed the plans not only to be very affordable, but we designed them to feel like a fully insured product. So while it can be scary at first, it's really not that scary. When you actually dive into it, you realize, wow, this is really simple. This is really easy. This is not that different, but it does give me some optionality. And the key is we want to have as much optionality as possible, right? When you talk to a customer on any sort of business these days, they want to have options, right? A small business should not be put into a box on what they want.
Right.
And level funded gives that other optionality. And the key is, hey, just give us a call. We've got account executives, new business, renewals that are going to walk you through this, handhold you through this so that you can be a differentiator in the market.
When employers go from fully insured to level funded, do you see them staying in level funded and getting comfortable with it, and that being a long-term strategy for small groups?
Yeah, for sure. That is something that we really tout is when you are moving over to level funded, we don't want this to be a switching every year, right? That's a lot of work for and disruption for a customer to have to switch every year. So the key is, we want to have a plan design that's going to allow them to stay with us for multiple years. One of the benefits of that is in level funded, different from fully insured, is if your group runs really well, there's an opportunity to get some of those premium dollars back at the end of the year, what we call a surplus. And with that allows people to want to stay longer and longer because they have an opportunity to get some of that money back, which is a pain point for a lot of people. And so when we're talking with brokers, when we're talking with customers, we really tell them, hey, this is a multi-year option for you to not have to disrupt and be focused on your business.
Right. During our onboarding process, there was a lot of excitement and discussion around Surest and how that plays into just in level funded plans in general. Tell us a little about Surest and how that relates to the Carolinas and the excitement around that and maybe the adoption of Surest. I know we're excited about it. We've got a lot of brokers talking about it, asking about it.
In the 2 to 50 segment, this is brand new for us. We actually just started quoting here yesterday, and so we're excited about that for a 5/1/2025 effective date. And we're going to be out and about making sure every broker is fully aware of what Surest is and how it's going to work in the 2 to 50 environment. We're super excited about it. The technology is amazing. Nelson has actually had a lot of experience with it, selling it more in this small or in the larger group, and so he can kind of share the successes we've had there.
Okay.
Yeah, so Surest is the most innovative product on the market as it relates to healthcare. Literally, it's like you're booking an Uber.
Right.
It allows you to compare costs right on your phone. What we've seen since we've had the product for the past 2 years, I'll just give you some recent numbers. In the 100+ space, we actually sold a Surest plan on 70% of the groups that we sold for January. National accounts in the 5,000+ space is seeing that, and 1 out of every 2 accounts is offering a Surest plan. So very innovative, very consumer oriented, and just a tremendous opportunity, as Blake said, for us in the 2 to 50 space since it's coming to level funded.
What I'm really excited about too is, I use last night as an example. I was staying at a hotel and I had to find out what restaurant I wanted to go to. Right? That is so easy now. You go in, you see all the reviews. I can quickly click on the menu. I know what everything's going to cost. We've had that for a while with restaurants, right? And a lot of things are Uber, what have you. And Surest really brings that to your health coverage, which is something new and something that has been frustrating for people in the past. It's an opportunity to go, hey, I know what I'm getting into here. I know where I should go. I know how close it is. I know how much it's going to cost. And that's really exciting.
Well, I know at 2 to 50, we're excited about it because in the smaller groups, you get a lot of consumer feedback. In older plans, when you didn't have the technology, you didn't have apps to integrate, consumer feedback didn't always get back to the groups. But what we hope is we install some of these plans, consumer feedback gets back, and that becomes really a connection with the employer and their employee. And obviously Surest is part of creating that synergy. Let's talk about 2 to 50 and small group a little bit. We wake up every day and get excited about the small group market. We feel like it's growing in the Carolinas. If anybody knows about the Carolinas, it's a very big small business state or states. We get excited about going out and talking to brokers about emerging businesses. Tell us a little bit about what y'all have seen in the growth in small group, and maybe where together we can really gain some synergy together.
We're also very excited. I mean, like I said, I've been in this 20 plus years, and it's always been in a small group environment, as well as the majority of our sales and account management team has been in small business for 20 plus years. First off, the Carolinas is an amazing place to live, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the weather's great. Mm-hmm. You've got your sports teams. It's just people want to live in the Carolinas, whether mm-hmm. that's move there at a young age or move there in retirement. It's a growing population and a lot of great small businesses, yeah. Right? And I'm super excited about small businesses. They're kind of what keep the country growing, and yes. So we love that. Yes. And so where it's headed is really around level funded, right? I mean, mm-hmm. You're gonna hear me say that quite a bit on that is an opportunity for these businesses to, again, go with plans that are designed for affordability, designed to be more engaged, designed around wellness, right, and keeping people healthy. The Carolinas, right, it's a very active community as well, right? Yes. And so we want to offer things that can make you healthier for a longer time, right? And we believe that level funded, Surest are opportunities to do that.
I'd also add that what I've seen in the Carolinas, and not too dissimilar to other markets I've had the opportunity to work in, is that the 2 to 50 space is really underserved. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say people have abandoned it, but there's a big opportunity for people in the 2 to 50 space to educate them on the level funded product, having Surest with the price transparency that it provides. There are tools that are available to these small employers that they haven't had access to before. As we work with AmWins and our team internally, that's what we're constantly promoting, right? Getting an underserved market that has somewhat been ignored for various reasons, access to these tools.
Mm-hmm. Nelson, can you tell us a little bit about, we're talking about the Carolinas. I've lived here all my life. You moved here recently. But South Carolina and North Carolina, there's a distinct difference in some ways. What are some, and we're bringing on new sales reps to cover these territories and also sales support to support these areas locally as well. What are some of the differences that you see in North Carolina and South Carolina that maybe the audience can pick up on?
The big differentiator that I've seen is just the legislation and the things that are available. South Carolina's had some of these products for longer than North Carolina has, so they're more up to speed, they're just more commonplace. North Carolina has been a little shut off, so that again creates a huge opportunity for us with the legislation around level funded going down to 12 lives, in addition to adding the Surest product to that funding arrangement. It's going to open a lot of doors. It's also the biggest thing is it's going to provide a lot of opportunity for employers, talking about choice earlier. Right. You have a lot of choices now. You have options and solutions where you otherwise didn't have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think as ACA evolves, we know ACA is going to be there. We're obviously, as a general agency, committed to educating our brokers on that. But level funded and breaking down some of the minimums and things, requirements, choice is so important. Like we talked about the adoption of level funded. What do you think the first step is for brokers to be educated and really feel comfortable presenting options to their employer groups?
Yeah, the first step is to just give us a call, right? As mentioned, we've got dedicated new business and renewal reps in the Carolinas to help brokers out with this. We will handhold you through every step of the process. Candidly, the brokers aren't going to need that much handholding because, as we talked about earlier, once they start to learn it, they're going to realize that it is plans designed similar to fully insured. So really, they just need to give us a call, right? And then what it comes down to is just getting a quote on it. We make it very easy with our quoting platforms. When you get a fully insured quote, you can get a level funded underwritten quote right next to that, right? And it's a great opportunity for us to side by side walk through it and look, hey, here's what's similar, Here's what's different. And it's a great differentiator for brokers. While we're seeing a lot of success in level funded, we're noticing that a lot of the cases that we win, it's a broker that's taking over a case because they have been out there presenting level funded
Right.
and are comfortable and showing the optionality that you talked about earlier.
Right.
We also host a lot of monthly webinars as well. Those are great opportunities for brokers or really anybody, employer groups that are interested in learning more about a level funded solution.
Yeah, we've participated in a handful of those and had some broker feedback on that as well. It's not a fit for everybody, right? It's not a fit for every group. Why is that? Why is level funded or Surest? Why is that not a fit for some employer groups?
When you're meeting with a group, before you kind of decide what's the fit for them, let's look at all the options, right? So our advice always is, hey, quote fully insured, quote level funded. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what's going to fit your needs, and then we'll decide which one's the best for you. We never want somebody to judge on who it's a fit for and who it's not for. If I were to say what level funded is more of a fit for, it's somebody who's really engaged in their health coverage, right? Because there are some great things that come along with that. We want you to be focused on it. We want you to pay attention to it. But really, it can be a fit for everybody. The good news is if it's not, we have great fully insured options for you as well.
Right. We talked about turnaround times, fully insured and 2 to 50, the rates are the rates. What are you doing to address turnaround time and underwriting and efficiency and getting quotes back in the hands of brokers and so they can get in front of their employers?
Yeah, I would say give us a shot. And you'd probably be surprised at how quick we're going to get an underwritten rate back to you.
I think that's great.
We've used some new quoting platforms that have been really beneficial for us. And a lot of times within 24 hours, you've got an underwritten rate on level funded, which is really exciting, especially in the busy times. We know how busy brokers are, right? We know how busy groups are. We can't have them waiting for a rate, right? We want to make this as efficient as possible. And due to some of our great teams in our back office, much like you have a great back office, we have really become efficient on getting quotes and underwritten quotes out there.
That's great. What is one thing you want the audience to take away from this session? We've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about growth in the small group market. We've talked about level funded. We've talked about the excitement on the Carolinas. But what is one thing that you would like to tell the audience about UnitedHealthcare in this area?
There's a lot that I'd like to tell the audience about UnitedHealthcare, but with this relationship being new, I would just like the introduction to start with, right? We'd like to meet with the agent community that AmWins is going to partner with. We want to be visible to them. We want to be, a trusted advisor to those brokers. And so I would just ask for an introduction. Let us tell our story to you personally. We talked a lot about level funded, talked a lot about the small group space and Surest. We'd like the opportunity to go deeper with the agent community on those topics.
Do you see yourselves working hand in hand with your general agent partners and with the broker together, making calls together, doing webinars together?
Yeah, in my experience, the most successful general agent relationships that I've seen and been a part of do both of that, right? We complement each other as we face out to the market.
Nelson and I joke in the Carolinas that him and I and our teams work closely and talk more frequently with our general agent partners than anywhere else in the country, right? And we're very confident in that. We understand how important that relationship is with general agents like AmWins Connect. You won't go a couple days without hearing from us, right? Because we want to work that relationship.
I think that's great. One of the things we focus on too, it's important for our carrier partners to have a relationship with the broker as well, not just through AmWins Connect. The brokers are our clients. They're UnitedHealthcare's clients. They're AmWins Connect clients, and we really thrive on making sure that you know who is writing your business every day, who's behind it, and we're doing that together. All right, Nelson, you talked about you moved here 2 years ago. You were previously in New Orleans. What has been one of the biggest challenges of coming into a new market, building a team, and assessing the relationships in the Carolinas?
Yeah, so there are a lot of challenges, especially when you have two small kids relocating, as well as a working spouse. The hardest thing and the thing that I missed the most were the relationships that I developed over 15 years working in the prior market. Coming to this market has been rewarding at the same time as it's been challenging because I've gotten to develop a lot of new relationships that are really blooming, I would say now, with the different general agents we work with, Amwins being one of the newest. But all the brokers across the Carolinas have really opened their doors to us, and it's been exciting to see the progress of those relationships developing. You know, as I mentioned, I've hired a lot of new people on my team. That's also been challenging, right? Because you don't really have a list of names, so to speak, right? And people are maybe a little apprehensive of who's the new guy, right? But that's also, been rewarding to make those relationships as well. So this is a relationship business. We talk about that all the time, and that's why it's important to really lean into those.
Blake, you've worked with Nelson for many years. You're familiar with the Carolinas. You've seen Nelson's progression here, moving his family here. What are some of the challenges you've seen just from Minnesota, from kind of being not here every day? What have you seen in this progression?
First off, I was really excited when Nelson decided to move to the Carolinas because I've known him for a long time. He has always been very broker focused and out in the community, out meeting with the brokers, and he has brought that to the Carolinas, which is something we definitely want to continue to expand with those relationships. Some of the challenges of being in Minnesota and working with the Carolinas this whole time is obviously I'm here quite a bit. However, I've noticed in the last 5 years, specifically since the pandemic, that the world actually wants things virtually. And because of that, we have become very well-versed in virtual trainings, virtual outreach. We'll hop on a call with a broker and meet with a customer on their cell phone, right? Which maybe 20 years ago when we all started in this business would seem really challenging. But in this new fast-paced world, people really like virtual, and we are experts on it and very capable of that with our technology.
That's great. All right, well, Nelson, Blake, we really appreciate you being a part of this series. We're proud of this series. I hope that our audience gets a lot out of this. We'll probably be seeing more of us hanging out together in the Carolinas. Hopefully we can do it again. So we really appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Coffee with Carriers. We look forward to seeing you soon.